Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to for this Friday evening, so let's begin. First up, ousted diplomat testified. She was encouraged to tweet support of President Trump before firing. Let's take a look at this video.
Our product specialists get paid the same whether you're buying the most expensive new or least expensive pre-owned. So you know there's not going to be any pressure. I'll take this one.
All right.
Ivanovich, as we sit here testifying, the president is attacking you on Twitter, and I'd like to give you a chance to respond. I'll read part of one of his tweets. Everywhere Marie Ivanovich went turned bad. She started off in Somalia. How did that go? He goes on to say later in the tweet, is a U.S. president's absolute right to appoint ambassadors. First of all, Ambassador Ivanovich, the Senate has a chance to confirm or deny an ambassador, do they not?
Yes, advise and consent.
But would you like to respond to the president's attack that everywhere you went turned bad?
Well, I don't think I have such powers, not in Mogadishu, Somalia, and not in other places. I actually think that where I've served over the years, I and others have demonstrably made things better, for the U.S. as well as for the countries that I've served in. Ukraine, for example, where there are huge challenges, including, on the issue that we're discussing today of corruption. Huge challenges. But they've made a lot of progress since 2014, including in the years that I was there. And I think in part, the Ukrainian people get the most credit for that. But a part of that credit goes to the work of the United States and to me as the ambassador in Ukraine.
Okay, and there you go on some of that testify in hearing. The second open house impeachment hearing Friday focused on an ambassador, her firing, and a pair of fixers. Those details stood at the center of former ambassador of Ukraine, Maria Yovanovitch's story, a personal ordeal she described to Americans and the world Friday as part of the Democrat-driven impeachment inquiry against President Donald Trump. What led to her career diplomat firing, Democrats say, is a key chapter in Trump's holdup on military aid, while he pressured Ukraine to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden's son. Republicans dismissed that as not credible. With Yashevitz an obstruction to corruption and a costly of a bribery scam, or disloyal to the president, fully empowered to choose his own ambassador? And how will Trump and his allies treat what he called the woman as she spoke out for the first time? Congress dug into her testimony on the second day of the public impeachment hearing against the nation's 45th president. And it started at 9 a.m., the impeachment hearing, and it went all the way until 3:22 p.m. The second open house hearing impeachment is over. Yachevitz testified for about 5 hours Friday, telling investigators about her outburst in May at Trump's direction and how she felt as she found out he had criticized her in a July phone call with Ukraine's president. She also said it was interesting as Trump went after her again on Twitter as she testified. Democrats are investigating Trump's dealings with Ukraine and a showdown foreign policy there led by his lawyer Rudy Giuliani. They said that Yachevitz's ouster set the stage for the president's appeals to Ukraine's leader to investigate Democrats. The House Intelligence Committee will hear from 8 more impeachment witnesses next week. Jury finds Trump ally Roger Stone guilty of witness tampering, lying to Congress. Let's take a look at this video right now.
Nature isn't the only force that can leave its mark, especially when you have a tractor built to help make your property your own.
Okay, and there you go on that video. Booker, Sununu exchange criticism over New Hampshire voting law. Presidential candidate says if he's elected president, New Hampshire law might be subjected to Justice Department review. Democratic presidential candidate Cory Booker on Friday accused Republican Governor Chris Sununu of trying to restrict voting rights by signing into law legislation that requires anyone who votes in New Hampshire to be a resident of the state. Booker said that if he becomes president, he intends to have the U.S. Justice Department review laws that he views as rolling back voting rights. And he said Friday that New Hampshire's law might be ripped for such a review. Cory Booker filed for first in the nation primary to be on the ballot as a Democrat added to the list. New Hampshire tests bottled water to ensure it doesn't contain PFAS. Company shut down after chemical detected in water. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
With the nanofiltration membrane, you're able to selectively remove fluoride molecules.
Safe drinking water continues to be a major health concern in New Hampshire after the discovery of PFAS contaminants in some groundwater sources, like in Merrimack and Peace International Trade Port. The health implications of the chemical compounds aren't completely known yet, but are currently being studied.
The time they stay in your body varies. Some are longer, some are shorter, but they're all relatively long that they stay in your body, in most cases years.
Because of that, many Granite Staters are being cautious and have turned to bottled water.
I have 2 little ones under the age of 5, so I don't want them drinking tap water either because they're too young to get sick.
But does bottled water also contain any PFAS chemicals? Clark Frizey of the Department of Environmental Services wanted to find out.
And we realized that if people wanted to have an alternative water source, they'd want to know whether the bottled water had been tested.
Bottled water is regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, not by the state. Earlier this year, DES tested 20 different bottles sold in New Hampshire stores.
This is the first time a broad spectrum of tests was done.
Almost every brand tested did not contain any PFAS chemicals. Only one showed elevated levels, Spring Hill in Haverhill, Massachusetts. That company addressed the issue by installing a filtration system, but ultimately couldn't recover as a small operation, and it shut down over the summer.
We believe we've tested enough sources in enough storefronts that anybody in the state who has a real concern and wants to use that information can go find something they're comfortable with.
Based on the state's testing, bottled water appears to be a safe alternative if people are concerned about PFAS in their water.
It is nice that we can buy bottled water, but it's not really convenient at the same time because it's cost and money out of our pocket, and we shouldn't have to really worry about, like, if we're drinking tap water. Like, it should be safe because, like, our kids bathe in it, they drink it.
Many just want to use water without the fear of chemicals.
We just open it and drink it when we're thirsty. So we would hope that our trust is going to the right people, and they would consider us and everybody else that does drink from water bottled daily.
To see the state's full test results, visit this story on WMUR.com. Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Teens accused of carjacking, robbing pizza delivery driver from Salem. Police say crimes occurred in Massachusetts communities of Lawrence and Methuen. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Trying hard to get a better signal on your cell phone? Let SignalBooster.com help you.
Right now, 2 teenagers are charged with carjacking and robbing a New Hampshire pizza delivery driver in Lawrence, Massachusetts. The 15 and 17-year-old allegedly led officers on a chase that ended in Methuen, where they were arrested. Police are investigating whether this incident is connected to a string of incidents in the area over the last few weeks, including several pizza delivery carjackings and an assault on an off-duty New Hampshire police officer.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at that U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Friday evening. And here's a look at your U.S. stock market for this Friday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed in the red and went down. Oil closed in the green and went up. US 10-year closed in the green and went up. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VIX closed in the red and went down. Dow jumps more than 200 points to 28,000 post 4 weeks winning streak. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rallied to record levels on Friday, reaching 28,000 for the first time ever after White House Economic Advisor Larry Kudlow said China and the U.S. were getting close to reaching a trade deal. Authorities warn residents to be vigilant and hunt for Marine murder suspect. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Turn now to Virginia, where an urgent manhunt is underway to find the Marine who is now a murder suspect accused of killing his mother's boyfriend. New clues led police to Roanoke, and that is where ABC's Adrian Bankert is with the very latest on this. Good morning, Adrian.
Yes, Cecilia, good morning to you. The lockdown is lifted here in Roanoke, Virginia, and kids are going to be back in school as scheduled. Still, police are asking residents to keep their doors and the doors to their cars and sheds locked and to be on the lookout for this fugitive. A Marine who abandoned his post accused of murder is still on the run.
Mr. Brown has not been located. We do believe that he is on foot.
The picturesque community of Roanoke, Virginia on lockdown Thursday.
He could be just walking around and no one would even notice.
In a break in the case, investigators find Michael Alexander Brown's RV, opening up its walls to look for clues. Seen in these surveillance images, Brown is wanted for the murder of his mother's boyfriend, just weeks after he deserted his post at Camp Lejeune. There are reports that he was seen knocking repeatedly on his grandmother's door early Thursday. The FBI, U.S. Marshals, and NCIS are now joining in on the manhunt. Police believe he is possibly carrying a high-powered rifle, among other weapons.
If he is confronted or pushed into a position to where he feels like he has no other alternative, then he may use force.
And right now we do know that friends of Brown have reportedly hired an attorney to represent him. They hope he'll turn himself in. The U.S. Marshal Service is offering a $10,000 reward for any information leading to his capture. George?
Dangerous situation. Okay, Adrian, thanks. Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that is it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and bye, everyone.